Hello students. The topic that we are going to discuss today is objection handling in sales. Students, very often it is said that selling process begins only when prospects raise objections. If no objections are raised, the salesperson remains merely an order taker. Even some experts have the opinion that objections give birth to the selling process. So let us first try to understand what is objection in sales. An objection is the expression of disapproval of an action taken by the salesperson. Objections are feelings of disapproval, and these objections are usually raised by the prospects. Once an objection is raised, it indicates that the prospect is undecided about the purchase. It is also understood that the prospect is in need of some more convincing and persuasion to arrive at a decision. So therefore, it is the duty of the salesperson to remove all possible doubts and queries from the minds of the prospects in order to get success in sales. Now let us first see what are the reasons for raising objections by the prospects. First of all, some people have a natural tendency to avoid new and unfamiliar ideas and goods. Therefore, many consumers raise objections as a natural phenomenon. Some prospects raise objections because they are not only fully convinced but also have some restrictions about the sales proposal or the product that the salesperson wants to sell. In other words, they are only partially convinced and still they are in need of explanations or clarifications about the sales proposition. Again, some prospects, particularly the educated and the tactful ones, raise objections to test the salesperson's knowledge and patience. Sometimes, objections are raised as mere excuses because the prospect may not possess the required purchasing power. Some other prospects are either not able to understand the salesperson fully or not convinced about the propositions of the salesperson. Therefore, they raise objections. Again, some prospects raise objections if the salesperson starts pressurizing them or uses some unfair means to sell the product. Some prospects raise objections merely to postpone buying, or they really do not want to buy. Now, since it is the duty of the salesperson to handle all these objections to get success in sales, what the salesperson can do? There are certain methods which a salesperson can adopt to handle objections in selling. Let us discuss those methods now. The first method that I want to discuss with you is direct denial method. See, normally a salesperson should avoid confrontation or contradiction with the prospect. However, at times, it is essential to do the same while meeting objections. As the name implies, under this method, the prospect is told that he is mistaken. This method is an offensive form of handling objections. Therefore, there remains a greater possibility of offending or hurting the feelings of the prospect. Therefore, this method can be used only in select cases while meeting objections. Another method is indirect denial method. This method is also called yes but method. This is one of the most popular and widely used methods of overcoming objections raised by the prospects. It is also often termed as sidestepping method. Under this method, initially the salesperson agrees with the objections raised by the prospect, but subsequently differs in a humble and polite manner. No doubt, most people hate to be contradicted or denied on their faces, but can be conquered through convincing. Another method of objection handling is reverse position method. This is also known as why method or question method. Under this method, instead of explaining the objections, the salesperson asks the prospect questions relating to the objections, such as why and what do you really mean. In other words, the prospect is asked as to why he thinks like that. The prospect, when confronted with such a question, not only hesitates to raise further objections, but is also made to answer his own objection. If the prospect's objections are based on fake grounds or silly in nature, this method makes the prospect realize and accept that. Again, another method is boomerang method. In this method, the objection of the prospect is converted into a reason in favor of a purchase. This method is also known as translation method because it converts the objection in the minds of the consumers into a reason for their purchase. In other words, when the prospect raises an objection, this method converts the objection into boomerang. For example, the prospect may create an objection about the price of the product, saying, "Price is too high." Under such circumstances, the salesperson can hit back saying, "This is exactly the reason why I believed you need the article." The manufacturer provides a 5-year guarantee and after-sales service. He can inform about the discount and other related services associated with the purchase. Though this is an effective method of handling objections, it requires accurate and thorough knowledge of the product and its selling points. One more important method of objection handling is superior point method. In this method, the salesperson frankly admits the validity of the objection raised by the prospect, but simultaneously offsets the objection by a superior point of greater advantage. In other words, the salesperson points out an advantage which is supposed to compensate the objection. For instance, when the prospect raises the objection that this cloth doesn't seem to be of high quality, the salesperson can reply that, "You are right, sir. Had it been of high quality, the price would have been considerably higher. Here, low price compensates the low quality." In this method, the prospect's objection is not really disposed of. Only his attention is drawn from the objection to a compensating advantage of the product. And the last method that I want to discuss with you is interrogation method. This method has some similarity with the reverse method. Under this method, the prospects are asked questions tactfully so that their objections are answered by themselves. Let me give you an example. A prospect may say that he wants to buy a cheap suit. In this case, the salesperson can put a question to him saying whether he would like to throw away the suit in 1 year or wants a suit that lasts longer. Most of the customers will opt for the latter one, and in that case, the salesperson can suggest a better alternative. Similarly, when the prospect raises doubt about the durability of the product, the salesperson can ask as to why he thinks that the product will not last long. This method can be used tactfully in meeting objections. So, friends, today we have learned the concept of objection handling in sales, what is objection, and what are the different methods of objection handling. Thank you.